congratulations. This was an incredible moment for fans because we have wanted Evolution for a really long time. We've wanted it again. And you brought various generations of not only fans together, because I saw children in the audience of all ages, but you also brought legends together. You brought athletes in the ring, in the crowd, and it was a moment that we could celebrate. And so I would love to know, where do you see that impact of having a moment like this where generations can come together and celebrate? And will we be able to have this as an annual event so we can celebrate every year?
Coming off the heels of a fantastic WWE Evolution PLE, that seems to be a question that not only she asked, but a lot of people are saying online. We need to have this as an annual event. People loved this show. Now, I don't know if it was a financial success. Nobody really is touting the sellout of the building. Nobody said it sold out. Nobody's really touting, the crowd that it drew. It looked phenomenal on camera, but WWE is really good at hiding empty seats. But certainly critically acclaimed. A lot of people are saying that this was an excellent event and possibly the best event of the year so far for WWE. So a lot of people are wondering, should this be an annual event? And a lot of people think it should be. Now, I have my thoughts, but before we do that, let's get into what Triple H had to say in response to this question.
One, it's just an epic show. There's a part of me that wants to just it's just an epic show. It was a women's show, yes, but it was just an epic show. It was just a WWE production show, and I like that. I love the fact that the women now are every bit a part of the show and every aspect of it, right? And at any point in time, they can main event. If it's the story, if it's the whatever that is, it's all there. Having a night like tonight where they can all come together and celebrate that, it worked out well here tonight. I think as we move forward, we'll see. I don't want to say it's yearly, it's not yearly. I think we see what that demand is for it, because as the demand for the women grows across the board every day, it becomes less about having their own show and more about like that's the equality, is it's all there, and you don't have to have their show to be in the spotlight, but if it works, we'll definitely go down that road again. So I think it's a we shall see.
Triple H hit the nail on the head right there. What is the point of even doing an all-women show anymore? Other than the virtue signaling people that think women need equality or women have equality now. They have the spotlight. How many events do we have that have women main eventing the show? It happens regularly now. In the last month, we've had the tag team titles defended in the main event. We've had Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky in the main event of Raw. It happens regularly. Women are prominently featured on the PLEs. They don't quite get half the card, but they're not quite half the wrestlers either. But every PLE gets 2 or 3 women's matches on every card. The women get the spotlight that they fought so hard for with the original Evolution pay-per-view. When Evolution came out the first time, they had that statement that they were trying to make. They were still trying to fight the conception that they were just a bunch of divas, that they were just pretty girls out there to have bra and panty matches. They've moved past that now. Women are taken seriously. Women have some of the best matches on the show. My girlfriend, I make her watch wrestling with me. She's made the comment that it looks like the women work harder than the guys. Women kick ass, man. They have excellent matches. There is no need for them to have their own show anymore. Because what you're doing, even though it's nice to give them their own show, sure, yeah, have your own show, whatever. But what that's doing is you're cutting your audience off of half of the fucking talent on the WWE roster now. You're asking people to come out and buy a ticket to sell out an arena, which they couldn't do for this show. Probably because of this exact reason, because you don't have a Randy Orton, a Cody Rhodes, a CM Punk, a Drew McIntyre. You're cutting all of these people off of your Jey Uso. You're cutting a lot of talent off of the show just to give women their own spotlight. To what ends? Women are already respected now. Women are already having incredible matches. Women are already being given the main event. Women are already having multiple matches on shows. We come from, this isn't, back in my day where women were just like a special attraction match on a card full of men. A bunch of men's matches, and then, we'll have a divas match for everybody to go to the bathroom and get their popcorn and shit. That's not where we're at anymore. People love women's wrestling. Exactly for the reason that I said my girlfriend noticed was that women bust their ass. The women are having kick-ass matches. And the fans see that, and the fans recognize that, and the fans appreciate it and support it. There are very few people out there nowadays, the Jim Cornettes of the world or whatever, that are saying, women don't, women, blah, nobody wants to see a bunch of girl matches and stuff. You don't really hear a lot of that anymore because the women have stepped up and proven themselves. This was a kick-ass show. Top to bottom, the talent on this show, the matches that we got to see, the performances that these women put in, they kicked ass. And some of my favorite wrestlers are female wrestlers nowadays. I'm a huge mark for Liv Morgan. I'm a big fan of what Charlotte and Alexa Bliss are doing right now. I'm a huge fan of Stephanie Vaquer. Even what Raquel Rodriguez has been impressing the fuck out of me lately with how she's stepped up since Liv got hurt. I think, her match with Rhea Ripley impressed the hell out of me at Night of Champions. Roxanne Perez, I'm very high on her work. I think she's doing incredible work out there. The women have come through and shined. They don't need their own show anymore because at the end of the day, they're getting equal treatment to the men. They're not fighting for their spotlight or fighting to be taken seriously anymore. They've main evented WrestleMania. It's over. The women are there. And as much as people like to say, I love all women's matches, or all women's cards, let's do an all women's show. That might feel good in your heart, but financially, there's not a demand for it. This show didn't sell out. At one point, the tickets, they were telling people that bought tickets up in the cheap seats that they were being moved down to the lower bowl because the tickets were just not being sold for this. Eventually, they moved them back to where they were. Like I said, it looked great on camera. But financially, did it make sense to do this? Does it make sense to do this every year? And to what ends? Other than to just say, the girls get their own show. Look how whatever we are, look how much we care about the women, and look how much we are for equality, and blah, 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 blah. The women already have the spotlight. They're already on the cards. They're already main eventing the shows. They're already putting on as good of and sometimes better matches than the guys are. So in all women's show evolution, there's just no need for it right now. They're not fighting to prove themselves anymore. They've done that. They have earned their spot. So all you're doing is cutting off half of the roster that people would want to pay tickets to go see for the sake of saying that it's an all-women show. Yay, look how progressive we are. Stop that. It's not needed. Women have their spotlight. They're there, man. They're there. But that's just my 2 cents. Love to know your 2 cents. You can leave those in the comments below. Let me know, not just, more than do they deserve, because of course they deserve the spotlight. Of course, in a perfect world, it would be nice to say, yeah, you guys are so great, here's your own show. But financially, from a business perspective of putting on an event that's just all women, it's not really there. So justify your reason other than being progressive and pro-woman and stuff. What is the actual reason that women need their own show every single year? Because I just don't see it. I think Triple H nailed it on the head. They're there. It's already equal. They're already prominently featured. There's no need for it. Also, while you're there, hit the subscribe button if you liked what you watched. Check out my book, links in the description down below. The Gathering, A Bold Journey into the Belly of the Juggalo Underworld. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we will catch you in the next video.
Let me tell you something, brother. Thanks for watching the video. Check out more great clips by hitting that subscribe button, dude. And while you're there, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to say your prayers and eat your vitamins, brother.